Eric Bakker, the naturopath. The question today is, can any other antifungal medicines be taken advantageously with Candida removed? And they can, but most of the stuff you'll have at home. You got to trust me on this one. I've worked in this area a long time. I've always found that when I can inspire patients to eat more ginger, fresh ginger, and more fresh garlic in their diet on a daily basis. So if they're cooking a main meal, they put some chopped up ginger in there, and they put some chopped up garlic in there. People who eat like that, and then in summertime they start eating the fresh herbs, okay, parsley and sage and thyme and rosemary and all those herbs. When you add those into salads, this is exactly what your gut needs to get rid of bad bacteria, fungi, parasites. All that sort of stuff will just slowly scurry away to the next person's gut that's enjoying Coca-Cola every day and pizzas and junk like that. If you eat the way I do, you will not get parasites. You won't get bacterial issues in the gut because you're constantly consuming foods that by natural default have those actions about them. All right? And we all know when stuff's made by a guy in a white coat in a factory, okay, with his iPod on blasting Metallica, do you think he's going to worry about your gut? Forget it. This is why I grow a lot of stuff. All right? Now, what was the question again? I even forgot the question. Must be getting old. The question is, can any additional fungal medicines be taken advantageously with? They can. But in this instance, you're probably best to work with someone with a high degree of knowledge and experience in working. My favorite would have to be grapefruit seed extract drops to be used on top of Remove. But it's not an easy thing to do. You need some clinical skills to pull it off if you want to, achieve it carefully. It's not simply a matter of saying, I'll just take Candida Remove and I'll take this as well and I'll take that as well, because you end up with a big problem. You take too many things, you end up with aggravations, you get sick, and then you start getting, emotional problems, you get depressed, you get anxious, and you think, here we go, I'm going to get sick all over again. And it was to do with your own hands, okay? You basically did it to yourself. So this is part of the reason I retired early in 2019. Well, early. I was 59 when I retired, but because in the past 5 years of my clinic were the most intensive in terms of the dosage regimes I used for the impossible cases. So in the end of my career, I would say particularly the last 12 to 18 months, many of the cases I would take on were cases that were discarded by just about every other doctor or practitioner. They were thrown in the impossible basket. So, and the beauty about working with a patient who's impossible is they understand that you can be impossible too, because you need to be an impossible doctor to work with impossible cases, all right? And yes, I have used very, very high dosages of GSE. I won't elaborate, but some of the things I pulled off of some of the patients are not for the faint-hearted, but those are the patients that turned the corner. Those are the patients that got better when everyone else slammed the door in their face, but they came to me. And I would lay it on the line, say, look, it's not going to be an easy treatment. Now, we're talking people here that have been sick for 10 or 20 years, that have had hundreds of doctors' visits and spent thousands of dollars and got nowhere. When you've got a big problem, you need a big hammer. But when you've got an impossible problem, you need a nuclear missile, literally. And when you know how to combine Candida Remove with additional grapefruit seed extract, it becomes a super powerful weapon, but it's a dangerous weapon to use. Okay, it's like a high-speed motorcycle. One strong move and you can wipe yourself out really quick for days or weeks. You can be sick. But yes, if you're going to be one of those people who says, Eric, I want that grapefruit seed extract, have a look into it. Nutribiotic make quite a nice one, but I'm not going to tell you how much dosages to use or how often to take it or drops, or please don't send me test results or beg for me for assistance with your case, because as you can see, I'm on this channel to educate people and not to go one-on-one anymore. But GSC, super powerful. But you know what? You can achieve similar results just by employing the fresh herbs, which I've mentioned, okay? Turmeric, garlic, ginger, all those sorts of foods. Just put more and more of that into your diet, and you'll find you won't need a lot of supplements because your gut will already start working in a transitional state. Right? Takes time. Give yourself time. Be patient. Doesn't happen overnight. Thanks for tuning in.